Alright, let's dive into the buzz around the Google Pixel 11 Pro, because honestly, there's a lot to unpack here, and some of it is really intriguing. First off, Google's big reveal is just around the corner, and the leaks are coming in hot. But here's the thing, what makes this year's Pixel launch so fascinating isn't just the specs or the design, it's the context. We're in a tech climate where every major release feels like a gamble, thanks to Armageddon and the looming specter of price hikes. So, when we hear rumors of the Pixel 11 Pro starting at $1,099, a $100 jump from last year, it's not just a number. It's a statement about where the industry is headed. Personally, I think this is Google's way of saying, we're playing in the big leagues now, but it also raises a deeper question. Are consumers ready to pay premium prices for what might feel like incremental upgrades? Now, let's talk about that Pixel Glow highlight feature, because this is where things get interesting. On the surface, it's just a colored light on the camera bar, right? Wrong. What many people don't realize is that this could be Google's subtle play to redefine how we interact with notifications. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about convenience, it's about mindfulness. The idea of a phone that lets you know someone's trying to reach you without demanding your full attention. That's a game changer. In my opinion, this could be the start of a bigger trend in tech. Devices that respect your focus while still keeping you connected. But here's the kicker, will it actually work as intended? Or will it just end up being a flashy gimmick? Only time will tell. Design-wise, Google seems to be playing it safe. The Pixel 11 Pro looks a lot like its predecessor, which, honestly, isn't a bad thing. The camera bar is still there, the overall aesthetic is clean, it's classic Pixel. But what's really caught my eye are the rumored color options: olive, obsidian, canyon, and fog. Now, these aren't exactly bold choices, but here's where it gets clever. Google is leaning into the Pro aesthetic, which tends to favor muted, professional tones. What this really suggests is that Google isn't just targeting tech enthusiasts. They're going after professionals who want a phone that looks as serious as they are. A detail I find fascinating is how this aligns with the broader trend of smartphones, becoming less about self-expression and more about utility. Is that a good thing? Personally, I'm on the fence. Specs-wise, the Pixel 11 Pro is shaping up to be a powerhouse, but there's one detail that's got me scratching my head: the RAM options. Last year, the Pro models came with 16 GB of RAM as standard, but this year, we're hearing rumors of a 12 GB variant. On the surface, that feels like a downgrade, but here's what's really going on: Google is likely segmenting its audience. The 12 GB model will probably pair with lower storage options, making it more accessible to budget-conscious buyers. Meanwhile, if you want the full 16 GB, you'll need to shell out for the 512 GB or 1 TB models. From my perspective, this is Google's way of saying, we've got something for everyone, but it also feels like a calculated move to push people toward the higher-end models. Smart? Yes. Consumer-friendly? Debatable. Lastly, let's talk cameras, because let's be honest, that's why most people buy a Pixel. The rumors suggest the megapixel counts are staying the same, but there's talk of a 120x digital zoom feature. If that pans out, it could be a game changer for mobile photography. But here's the catch. There's also a rumor about a 13MP selfie camera, which would be a major step back from the 48MP camera on the Pixel 10 Pro. Personally, I think this is where Google needs to tread carefully. The Pixel's camera has always been its crown jewel, and any perceived downgrade could alienate loyal fans. What makes this really interesting is how it ties into the broader narrative of Google's strategy. Are they innovating? Or are they cutting corners to justify those higher prices? So, here's my closing thought. The Pixel 11 Pro feels like a phone caught between innovation and pragmatism. On one hand, features like the Pixel Glow highlight show that Google is thinking outside the box. On the other, the price hikes and potential downgrades suggest they are playing it safe, or worse, prioritizing profit over progress. In my opinion, this launch will be a litmus test for where Google stands in the smartphone race. Are they still the underdog innovator, or are they becoming just another player in a crowded field? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to stick around for the full breakdown when the Pixel 11 Pro officially drops. Trust me, this is one you won't want to miss.